Hello and welcome to the Weight Loss for Women Over 50 Masterclass Series. Today I have Ronnie. Ronnie, can you pronounce your last name for me?
It's actually easier than it looks. Loiza. Loa, like a loaf of bread, Iza.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna do it wrong. Lo
But that's why
Iza.
people call me Ronnie Low Life Coach. Way easier.
Oh, you're so sweet. So, Ronnie is a certified professional life coach specializing in habits and celebrative accountability and a certified personal trainer and fitness coach. Ronnie helps people create long-term and usually lifetime habits in eating, exercise, self-care, daily workouts, and productivity. So, habits are second nature and not forced. So, there's no more struggle, resistance, sheer discipline, or willpower. So, same with your habitual mindset, change your thoughts and you change your behavior, including how you eat and work out. So, when Ronnie's not coaching, she loves strength training, yoga, EFT, and traveling, my favorite. So, she's here to tell us what's habits got to do with it in weight loss. Everything, right, Ronnie?
Absolutely. I was thinking Tina Turner. What's habits got to do with it? Okay, I can't sing though.
Oh, let's sing it. So, welcome, Ronnie Loiza. Did I get it? So happy to
Perfect.
have you. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Cherie.
Yeah, no problem. So, I always love my speakers to tell us how they got to doing this and where they came from. So, could you please share your story with us?
Cliff Notes version, yeah. Do people read their Cliff Notes? Um, I
I don't
am a per
know.
I'm a certified personal trainer, and I was for over a decade. But I became a personal trainer, not being athletic, not having been a gym rat. I was more of remember aerobics? It's now cardio, but I was
Mhm.
more like aerobics and a runner. And I really messed up my knees and my hip. And in my mid 40s, my back was hurting like crazy. Fast forward, acupuncture, um, chiropractors, five of them, decompression, two Western medical doctors. They even wanted to fuse my back because I had herniated discs. Um, all that said, I finally got together with one chiropractor who put me with a corrective exercise specialist personal trainer. Within 2 weeks, Cherie, my back stopped hurting.
Wow.
And it was like I had to learn how to strength train because, again, I grew up with aerobics and running. So I was into it and I would ask her so many questions. Again, mid 40s, she's like, you have to become a personal trainer. You need to be a personal trainer. I'm like, me? Right. I live in La La Land, meaning Los Angeles, California. They were all in their 20s. I'm like, who does that in their mid 40s? She's like, you'll be a walking billboard. And I thought about it. One day I woke up and I thought, you know what? I think I want to be a personal trainer. So that's how I got into fitness to be, to help people. The more I trained, the more I wanted to help every single person be as fit as that person could be, as fit as Cherie could be, not as fit as Cosmo magazine or everybody else in the gym. And I also thought, if I'm in shape and I'm healthy and I'm not very athletic, I'm my own walking billboard. So I got it. Then COVID happened. And boom, I was like not an Instagram selfie kind of girl, but I was like, what do I do? Okay, let's go on Zoom. So my clients went on Zoom because I couldn't go to the boutique gyms anymore, the studios
Yes.
or to their homes. And a lot of people, especially women, actually no men, but the women were telling me their friend, their sister, their boss, working out was the first thing off their Google Calendar. Because as you remember back then, everybody was on the computer and nobody had boundaries because you wanted to be indispensable at work. You either didn't want to be let go or you were the boss. And so they were working out just was not in their psyche. And they didn't want to work out at home for some reason, maybe because the kids were there, the partner was there, everybody was working off the dining room table. So I offered, well, do you want me to talk to her or let me talk to her? And the more I talked to people, I remember somebody saying, God, you really coached me so well. Thanks. And I'm like,
Aw.
and then somebody else like, you should be a life coach. And my sister had told me that years ago, but I was like, what's a life coach? I thought it was like for executives or, performance coaches. So I looked into it and I was fascinated by how many niches there were. I decided to take it seriously, went to school, and I'm still always going to continuing education to get more levels, but I became a certified professional life coach. And since then, the common thread in everything, whether it's in career transition, career growth, family, relationships, divorce, whatever it is, it always goes back to, and especially your lifestyle, there's always habits and self-accountability and habitual way of thinking that's like gone through every scenario. And that's why I say I specialize in it.
I love that. Thank you for telling us that. So you just mentioned habits. So what do habits have to do with losing weight?
Everything. Um,
Everything.
and some people kind of resist this, and I get it. Habits and accountability. It's funny that I picked those two words because people at first resist it, like accountability. They think it's nagging or you have to be
Mhm.
responsible for somebody or answer to somebody. Either that or they love it. It's like, I want to be held accountable. Or I want an accountability partner. Same thing with habits. Habits, Aristotle had a better one, but I'm going to say the Will Durant version. You are your habits. Habits are you. Habits are your identity. And Will Durant said, what you do every day on a consistent basis is a habit. Excellence, therefore, is a habit, not an action. So we are our habits. And that's where people at first are like, but then when you look at it, if you write a movie script or a character role for a novel or a short story or a play, you start filling in the little things about that character, about Cherie or about anybody. It's not just blue eyes, 5'7", that's it. It's not just the physical description. It's what they do from the second they wake up in the morning, how they do things. You have your little habits, your quirks, the way of your moving, and the way you think. That starts describing who you are. What you do every day is your identity. That doesn't mean it's your core values or it's your spirituality. No, it's what you do. That's your identity. Now, you put in your core values, and that's where a lot of people struggle. It's like it's going against their values, or it's not aligning with their values, or it's not aligning with the kind of person they want to be. That's when it comes around. And so what does it have to do with weight loss or exercising or eating right? You have been conditioning yourself, and you have been conditioned since you were born. You weren't born knowing to brush your teeth. You were conditioned. You were conditioned to do every habit, every routine. So your way of thinking, you've also been conditioned, society, family, culture, friends, and you condition yourself. So if you conditioned yourself, you are a computer, a human computer, you can reprogram and recondition that brain. You can reprogram a habit. You can get rid of a habit. You can create a new habit. And habit, by its very definition, is natural. You don't think about it anymore. It's not a struggle. If you have to struggle, it's not a habit. A habit is just boom. It's who you are. It's what you do.
Very well said, Ronnie. Very well said.
And people
So
struggle with diets because it's not a habit. It's not sustainable, and it's not what they want to do. So people go on detoxes and cleanses, and I have nothing against that. It's just the expectations. I have so many people that have told me during the past 20 years, I'm doing this cleanse, or what do you think of this detox? That's great if you start with the right frame of mind and the right expectation, because you don't really need a detox, and you don't really need a cleanse, and you don't really need any diet if you're always eating right, because your body is a natural cleanser and detoxifier. You know all this, your liver, your kidney, your organs, if they're working right. So when my clients want all these, and I've had clients that did cleanses all the time or once a year until they got with me, and then we got them in the right mindset and the right expectation. Like, this is not permanent. Or just to do it all the time is not good, because then you're resetting your metabolism. Your metabolism, as you know this, and we won't go into that, but your metabolism goes, okay, she's not eating. I'm going to slow down because she might starve. That's our caveman days. So every time you go on a drastic diet, or you start cleansing and detoxing all that, and you lose some of that, let's face it, you let out gas, and you clean out a little bit, but it's temporary. So of course you're going to feel a little lighter, and of course your belly's going to be a little flatter. But then you start eating normally as you always did, and you go back to how you were. So when you get the expectations right, like, okay, I'm ready to finally start changing my habits of how much I eat, and what I think of the food, and what I crave, and what I like, and you do recondition that, a cleanse can be great, a detox can be great because it starts showing you, one, I can do it. Two, you know what? I didn't really miss that food or miss those Cheetos or miss whatever, 10 cups of coffee a day or whatever it is. It's good to kind of show your brain I'm capable and do it slowly to make you feel better. Or let's say you're going on a vacation, you kind of want to look better for that week. As long as you know, okay, that's it. I just want to really feel good, but I know this is not sustainable. When you're ready to really change your lifestyle and your habits, then okay, those are great. But again, habits are what determine when you eat, how much you eat, what you crave, your way of thinking, what you like, all of that.
Love it. So you like to use the words celebrative accountability. Can you
Yeah,
tell us more about that?
that's me. My emoji, the confetti.
Yeah,
Right. So
celebrating.
my clients, instead of like, oh, I got to check in, or they hide because they feel guilty because, oh, they slipped and all that. It's like every little step to change a habit, however old you are, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it took that many years to create and set yourself in those ways. You've got those habits and also what you like to eat. Our taste buds just want what they're used to because that's what our brain is used to. People hate change. Our brain hates change. It's like, oh, this is a change. I don't like it. No, I don't want it. So back to accountability. So sometimes when they force it, like, I'm just not going to do this for 40 days, you slip. It doesn't last. So how about changing it little by little? And each one of those steps, I do habit chaining. This is before habit stacking, which I think James Cleary came up with. We've been doing
Yeah.
something for eons. It just changes by decade. Before it was, Pavlovian or whatever. We now call it habit stacking. I always called it habit chaining. You link a
Mhm,
habit, a
mhm.
new habit to something you already do.
Yep.
Let's say brushing your teeth. During the pandemic, I thought I was a badass. I hope I can say that on
It's
here because I could do 20 push-ups, on your toes and on your hands and do them right, right? Because most women don't do push-ups. And I started adding a push-up, maybe two at the most a day. I got up to 60 every morning without fail. Went on to 80. I got up to 100 until a few months ago. I was doing like 150 push-ups every morning, and I mean on my toes, and I'm 58 years old. I
nice.
finally stopped that for other reasons. So I'm like, I'm wearing out my elbows and I'm going to do something else. I just decided to do something else. But the thing
Hmm.
is, I built it little by little, back to celebrative accountability. When you do something small, you may think, oh, it's so small. I did meditation for 1 minute, or I did this, or I prepped, whatever it is that we decide what your plan is, even if it's a small step. And I shouldn't even say even if it is a step, you did it, celebrate it, meaning share it with me. Because at first, to share it, is to get people to say it out loud, literally say it. They
Mm.
Voxer me. But if they want to voice it, that's even better. If you can look at yourself in the eyeballs in the mirror, I did this. Or even better, you're working out, you see yourself in the mirror, and cut me off when you have to, because I can go on all about this because I'm so excited. Let's
You're
say you're
fine.
working out and you hated weight training. Okay, I'm doing a bicep. You're looking at the mirror
Mhm.
and you're like, I am working out. I am working this bicep. I am doing it. Let's say you do only three. You are saying it in the present moment, and your brain's going, noted, noted, noted. You know that you're capable. You are reprogramming that brain. I don't care if you do three. I don't care if you go to the gym and sit there and people watch. At least you made it to the gym. I used to do that with my clients. I'm like, dress at work to go to the gym. If you go to the gym, you're driving there and you're already dressed, you're more than likely going to do something. But if you just sit there in the lobby and people watch, I don't care. You're wet. Of course, you're going to end up working out a little bit. But when you celebrate it and you say it out loud, especially if you say it, your brain hears it, and it starts reprogramming. First, it's proof that you can do it. Two, it's proof that you did it. And you start feeling better rather than, I got to write it down. I got to journal it. I got to log it. I got to be accountable to somebody. It's like, you don't got to do anything. You're a grown person. You want to reprogram yourself? Celebrate it. That's what I call celebrative accountability.
I love that. Noted, noted, noted. You are really reprogramming your brain by saying it, by celebrating. And then I wanted to back up just a second, Ronnie, because those viewers that don't know what Voxer is, it's like a little walkie-talkie app that coaches use to communicate with their clients. And we can type like text, or we can use voice and they can also talk back to us. But it's just like a walkie-talkie back and forth, and you can, just have that accountability. So Voxer is great for some of the
It's
coaches use
fast. You
Voxer.
don't have to sit there and text unless you want
Yeah.
to, but it's boom, fast, and it gets to the other person
Hmm.
immediately. And the reason I use Voxer is because, the WhatsApp, that's for some people in my family, my crazy cousins. Viber is just my sister and my husband, because I know
Yeah.
if there's Viber, I got to answer it. Text, you get inundated by text left and right.
Yeah.
So I know if it's Voxer, it's only my coaching clients.
Hmm. Yeah. And separate it out from, because that also is setting boundaries, right? For your personal, your business. And yeah, so Voxer is a great way to do that. I also have a portal chat for people like in my memberships. So every coach has a little bit different. So let's talk about people after 50, women after 50, set in their ways, Ronnie. How do
You
they
know,
change those eating habits and exercise habits? How do we even go about changing?
well, the first thing is people think of, okay, now I hope this isn't abrasive, but I'm not into all the Pollyanna positivity. Just say affirmations. And I'm notice the word just, okay? Yes, positive, but it's hard when somebody tells you, have you ever nah, my mind went like I can't think of the example, but when you're in a crappy mood or something and somebody goes, well, just get in a positive mood. It's like, well, it's hard, just do it. Or if you say affirmations, but there's a little bit of doubt back there in your brain, if you're saying like it's hope, but it's not true belief, you're just trying to talk yourself into whatever you're saying in those affirmations, the brain in there starts looking for the doubt and magnifies the doubt. It really does. So say what's true. What already is true. That's why I like the I am doing it. I am now working my calves. I am now working my abs, because that's true. So I work with my clients in saying truthful confirmations,
Okay.
confirmations over affirmations. It's also accountability. But let's say I am doing this. I am on my way to changing one little habit. I'm on my way to eating better, as opposed to I'm on my way to losing 50 pounds. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's big. It's like today I am doing this on my way to being healthier, or whatever is the truth for you. If you're going to say, I'm on my way to adding more exercise time, or I'm on my way to losing weight, great. Whatever feels true to you, not a wish, not hope. So changing habits takes a lot in here. And then also, like I said, you're setting your ways, you're setting your routines, but a routine is not a habit. A habit is small. So you start with the tiny habits, just
Mhm.
tiny. And whether it's what you eat or what you do in the morning, like let's say calisthenics, let's say you hate working out. Okay, can you do 1 minute? Okay, I can do 1 minute. I'm like, set the timer. Do not go more than 1 minute unless you really want to, but 1 minute every morning, get up, do whatever. Jumping jacks, crunches, squats, whatever. But you can't brush your teeth before you do them. You just can't. So brushing your teeth becomes calisthenics. Or let's say it's self-care. Okay, I don't want to meditate 20 minutes. I don't have time. I don't have time to journal, whatever, because I get a lot of this. I know people like to journal, but for some people it's like, no, I'm like, okay, doodle for 30 seconds. Doodle, squiggle. I had this one lady do this. We came up with what would work for her. She's like, doodle, okay. So she was doodling, and then something would come to her mind and she'd write it down. And then she'd doodle a little bit more, write it down. It became like a 3 minute thing for her, but I told her, walk away. She became so good at coming up with ideas. First thing in the morning before she took care of the world, before she looked at the emails, before all of that. So we come up with little habits to change our ways, whether it's distractions or FOMO or whatever leads to procrastination, or this is about weight loss, how you prepare your food, get into the little habit of maybe cutting off a portion. It's just a habit. I'm going to do this, I'm going to cut off that portion, boom. Just it becomes a habit. Like you automatically think it, you remind yourself, and you reward yourself, because there's got to be a thought that's the trigger, and you think of the reward ahead. I won't go through the whole process, And you reward yourself right away by telling yourself, yay, or whatever will work for you. Like a happy dance, a yay, a win. You start getting to little habits in how you prepare your food, whatever it is that you have to work on, or a habit of maybe eating mid-morning. Because I had people like, oh, I just can't eat before lunch. And then they gobble down a big lunch. Okay, let's get in the habit of you take it with you because they don't have time to eat a big breakfast or they don't want to. Take some nuts or take maybe a cheese stick or something you can eat in the car on your way, just a few nuts. You start getting the habit. Like if I get in the car to go to this one meeting at 10 o'clock, I'm going to eat my almonds or whatever. Or a habit of before I eat lunch, I'm going to walk around the block. Before I eat lunch, I'm going to walk around the block. You hook it to something you already do. And it starts becoming easier and easier if it's small steps. And at any age, I've had women in their 60s, I've had women in their 70s who are so set in their ways, change. But when you do big drastic diets, of course, you can have all the conviction and willpower maybe during that diet, but then they can't sustain it. They're so looking forward to the end of that diet, or they're so looking forward to a cheat day. That's another thing I want to talk about. I can't stand the term cheat day. Why cheat? Don't cheat. Don't cheat all week. Live right, live to your commitment. If you slip a little bit, go back and reset. Don't cheat, because then you feel like, ooh, this is special, or ooh, I did bad or good. There's no bad or good.
Mm-hmm.
You just start doing what you can. That's why when we come up with plans, I always say, okay, does this sound, how does this sound to try this? Is it realistically, is it something you will realistically do? And that's how we start, because there shouldn't be a cheat day. What, you're going to be a glutton for a day? No, if you want to have chocolate every day, have chocolate every day. You're a grown person. My motto is eat, don't overeat. Enjoy that one drink. You don't have to have 10. If you don't want to drink to socialize, don't. But do what you will realistically do, commit to it, and take it little step by little step. I don't like the cheat days. I don't like the cheat weekends. Always enjoy what you eat. I mean, that's what it's for
Yeah.
nutrition and for enjoyment.
Love the food that you eat. I like what you said about, like we try to do these drastic things and then we go, I didn't have enough willpower. Women will tell me that all the time. I have no willpower. It's because we didn't take little steps, right? And what you said about cheat days, I agree with you totally. I do tell clients to cheat, not cheat days, because if they don't have time to cut up the vegetables, buy them already cut up. You don't have time for buy the frozen berries. Buy the things already done for you so that
Let's change terminology to program your brain to solution. Why say
yeah,
the word cheat? Say
yes.
solution.
Hmm.
Okay, what's the solution? What's the alternative? That's a positive thing.
Yes. Yeah. So make it as easy for you as possible to get to the outcome, right? So yeah, I love that. So agreed. So now let's talk about I hate to like someone who says, I hate to work out. So how do habits and accountability help me? I don't like to work out. Or maybe they're just afraid to sticking to it, to the workout.
There are different scenarios, but most people are just like, I don't like to strength train.
Hmm.
And I'm like, try a little bit. Try like 3 pounds or 5 pounds. And the thing is, when people are first starting, they're like, okay, they go all in and they decide they're going to do it 3 days a week or 5 days a week. And then they burn out, they don't like it, or they just can't get there. So I'm like, well, what will you realistically do? Can you have 5 pounds at home and turn on your favorite show or favorite reality show or whatever and do it for half an hour while you're watching or while you're listening to a podcast or
Hmm.
whatever? Or maybe one set. You can commit to that. Most people can. And then most people go on and start adding to it. And if you don't want to do 3 days a week, go twice a week. We plan it because I'm also a personal trainer, so I can help them plan it. What will you realistically do? If they hate working out, what is it about working out that you don't like? And we figure that out. And then we find the solution. Most of them, it's always getting started, as you know. I don't know many people, not even athletes, who are like, yes, I love working out. You know, most people just love that sense of accomplishment the second is over. My favorite part of a workout is the shower afterward. and I've been doing this for years. So
Yes.
what will work for you? What is it that you really hate about it? Is it that it doesn't feel right? People used to ask me, yoga or Pilates? Yes. What do you mean? Which one do you want to do? Which one will you do? Should I do cardio or strength training? Yes, when they first get started. What will
Yeah.
you do? My answer was always, what will you do? Like, you
Mhm.
won't find me on a treadmill. I can't stand treadmills for me, but I love it for somebody who likes treadmills. I just don't like the banging and I don't like the running. It ain't me. And I don't have the discipline or willpower. If I get on one of those machines, I can always walk off. But if I go for a walk, if I power walk for 15 minutes, I gotta go back. So I have 15 minutes back. That's me. That's how I resolved my issue with, like, I just can't stand cardio machines. And I do if I absolutely have no time and the weather's horrible and I'm like, okay, here's an elliptical, here's a row machine. Okay, so I'll do like maybe 10, 10, 10. That's a solution for me. I'll do 10 of row, 10 elliptical, 10 treadmill, because I really am bored on cardio machines. I'd rather, go out, hike, swim, get in the pool, walk the pool,
Mhm.
do whatever, play. But that's how we find solutions. So when people hate to work out, let's start with just a little habit. One lady I just coached last week, for example, we got her in the habit. She has to go up the stairs to go to her bedroom to go to bed at night, right? So I'm like, can you start the habit of going up, going down, going back up? She just laughed. She's like, sure. Now she cannot go to bed because she gets upstairs, like, I got to go back down. And then she'll turn around and go back upstairs. She started walking the stairs and she hates working out. Her goal was to start moving. So
Good.
start where you can start that you will do. And as you start seeing results
Hmm.
naturally, you start wanting to do more.
Is that habitual way of thinking when it comes to working out? What do you call that?
Okay, so habitual way of thinking is just your default programming,
Okay.
how you react automatically emotionally, okay, to
Oh,
anything. So that is your default way of thinking. That's your frame of mind. So when you react to something or you think of something like, you're averse to working out, for example, or to eating a certain way, it's like, okay, what can be true? So you change what's behind that emotion, and not like force something like, well, this is good for me. I'm going to eat this salad with no dressing or whatever. It's like, okay, what is it that I like about this? Or what is it that I don't like about this? Why does it make me feel like this? And most people know their emotion right away. There's either joy, and then there's peace, contentment, happy, that all fall under joy. There's anger, there's despair, there's sad, and there's fear. So there's the five basic emotions, and then all the other emotions come under those. So if you notice what your emotion is, usually it's not because you just plain don't like something, or you just plain it hurts to work out. It's usually something else. Like they have fear of not doing it right, or they have fear of this won't work, or they're kind of angry about something. They take their emotions about something else out on not wanting to work out or not feeling the energy, or I don't have time, I'm too busy. And then we start looking for the solutions. But they have to change their thought, their habitual way. Like I just said,
mhm.
solutions instead of cheat, because cheat has kind of a bad connotation. For some, I'm just saying, for some, it's fun. Okay. But if something's bothering you, change it with a thought that is real for you, that sits right with you. And it's like, okay, so you neutralize that emotion little by little. When you neutralize it, it's like, yeah, that sounds right for me, that thought. um, then your habitual way of thinking, your default thinking starts changing. You start looking for solutions, and maybe your perspective changes for good. And I shouldn't say maybe, it usually does. Here's one that I'm going to steal from somebody. There was another coach I heard on a podcast eons ago, when she would look at herself in the mirror, she would never really look at her belly. One day she looked at her belly, and she didn't say, I am a beautiful goddess. She said, this is a belly. She put her hand on her belly. That's it. That's how she started. Then she went on to, many women have big bellies. Many beautiful women with confidence have big bellies. She didn't say she was confident. She said many women who are confident have big bellies. But she would look at herself in the mirror. Little by little, she started accepting her belly and started thinking, I can have a smaller belly. She finally started eating better and she started seeing results so slowly. But the thing is, she started accepting herself, not lying to herself. Like Nike Just Do It is great, but then again, that's always in the future. So our minds are always in the future. When I have more time, then I'll work out. When I have more energy, then I'll work out. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. It's always in the future. Well, how about now? Today, I'm on my way to losing some weight. That's more factual. If it's a little thing that you did. So you start changing your habitual way of thinking to, okay, this is doable. And then, yay, I did it. I'm doing it and I did it. So the habitual way of thinking starts changing because you were programmed and you programmed yourself. And something that's coming up, we don't have time right now, but something that's coming up are the holidays. That's when we all revert back to when we were, what, 13? The family dynamics. I gotta eat because Aunt Sue made it, or my mom's gonna force all this to me, and there's gonna be so much pressure. And if I don't eat their cookies, they're gonna think bad of me, or I get nervous, so I'm just gonna eat. And when the holidays come around, we all go back to when we were kids. I don't care who you are. And then it's like the willpower is like, that's why now is the perfect time to start reprogramming yourself and not fearing the holidays, but not overeating and not saying, well, I'll take it off after the holidays. No, eat now. Don't overeat. Enjoy what you're going to have and start changing your own family dynamics.
Love it. Why put off what you can do now? Love it. So, when it comes to fear, do you find that some women just have a fear of starting the workout, like beginning to like, oh, I don't know, am I gonna, not necessarily a reason not to go to the gym, but just a fear of overwhelm starting again because they've tried so many different things.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because in my position, if I have to think about it, once they came to me and I was a personal trainer, it's because they
Okay.
were ready. So they kind of overcame that fear. It's sort of like in anything. If they're not ready to change, they're not going to come to you. But once they come to you and they ask, they're starting to be ready. So, of course, they may have fear that it won't work this time, or I'm just going to waste my money. Of course. So that's when you got to start slowly and start addressing the issue. Not therapy, but what are you afraid of? Okay, so how about if we start this way? And when you start giving them a plan, but
Yeah.
little steps, it allays their fear. I think most of it is anxiety more than fear because they're anxious about time. It's always about I'm too busy or I don't have the money. You have the money for that mani-pedi that you want. You have the money for, oh my God, I got to have that. You walk in the store, you buy. So when you're afraid of wasting money, it's really because you're afraid it won't work. And so they're anxious, or they take out their anxiety in either eating or just, I'm not going to work out. I don't feel like it. Oh, forget it. I missed yesterday. So what do I have to, why should I do it today? Like I missed the workout and then they let it all go to hell and they don't work out all week. So it's more anxiety. So when you start building healthy lifestyle habits, like, okay, I don't feel like working out right now. Why? Okay, I'm just going to stretch. I'm just going to do a few push-ups and let it go. And you usually end up doing more, but if that's all you did, that's all you did. And that's great. But so more than fear, to answer your question, I think it's more anxiety or like the fear of, am I going to fail?
Or thinking that just losing weight is going to change their life.
Yeah, no, you got to change your life to lose weight.
Right?
It's kind of a vicious circle. It's like that won't give you confidence. You have to have the confidence. And as you're going through it, I call it evidence-based confidence. As you are proving to yourself, again, I am riding this bike for 5 minutes. I am right now on my way to doing something for myself. Your brain's going, yeah, you are. So you're proving it. As you start seeing results and you start getting a little bit more energy or a little bit more like, you know what, that wasn't bad. I can do 10 minutes or I can lift a few more weights. And you start seeing results, meaning that you're putting in the time and that you are capable of doing it. And then you start having evidence. And as you're celebrating those steps, you're giving yourself the evidence. It's proof. That's what I call evidence-based confidence. You have proof. So the confidence comes And then your life starts changing, not the other way around. Not when I lose weight, I'll
Mhm.
have confidence. I have confidence now that I am on my way to losing that weight for good, so that I never
Mhm.
have to diet again.
Thank you. Because if someone is 180 pounds, and they get to 160, if they didn't change anything along the way, nothing has changed in their lives, right? So, what's the difference between going on a diet and creating those new habits?
Well, a diet is a temporary plan. It's
Hmm.
just temporary. Because if you live in a perpetual diet, that's just your nutrition plan. That's just what it is, you know? So, and I get it. I tried, way back in the day. Um, I'm just going to say, I tried the Jenny Craig when
Hmm.
later on when I came a little bit more savvy. I started reading packages and I was reading the Nutrisystems and all of those, and the prepackaged, all of them. I'm not just saying Jenny Craig because I tried it.
Hmm.
Um, the things that go in there, I'm like, oh my God, the
Yeah.
partially hydrogenated this and the blah, 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 things I can't pronounce. And then all the red colors and the blue colors and yellow 3, 4, and 10. I'm like, what? I started eating clean. That doesn't mean like I'm totally, raw, vegan, did this and that. No, just clean, mostly clean. If you like 80% clean and 20% not clean, meaning like hard candy. I love like the coffee candies or whatever. Brownie that's refined sugar. But even that is clean. I'm just saying like fake fake sugar to me is not clean because those are chemicals and your brain starts wanting, okay, you're going to give me sugar, right? You're going to give me sugar, right? I mean, it's no coincidence that this is the most overweight country and the country with the highest rate of diabetes and pre-diabetes, and we have so many diet sodas
Oh my
and
gosh. Yeah.
all the sugar substitutes. It's like a little teaspoon of sugar that comes
Mhm.
from a sugar cane is clean. It's okay. Have sugar, have honey. It's clean, it's real. So, diet is a temporary fix. And it really is equals to dissect what you eat. So, eat less, a little bit less, all the time. And I do put my certain clients that want it on calorie counts. It's called the cycling, the zigzagging. Some call it calorie cycling. I call it zigzagging. It's where you rev up your metabolism. Like one day could be 1,000 calories. The next day will be 1,600 calories. The next day will be 1,200. The next day will be 1,800. You zigzag. So your metabolism is going, wait, she's eating. Wait, she's not eating. Wait. So you're revving it up or you're slowing it down because somehow 20, 30 years ago now, somebody came up with 1,200 as the magic number. So everybody went, well, I'm just going to eat 1,200 calories. Okay,
Yeah.
great. At first, because it's less than what you were eating,
Mhm.
you lose 10 pounds of water weight mostly. But then your body's like, okay, I'm going to acclimate now. And then the famous plateau. But when you're calorie cycling, you're revving it up, slowing it down, revving it up, slowing it down. And then you start increasing the calories. You start increasing the exercise, the muscle building, because muscle burns fat and your metabolism sets to where you want it to be, the basal metabolic rate. That's your base metabolic rate. You can boost your metabolism at any age. 50, 60, 70. Metabolism is just a synonym for hormones. You can reset that metabolism. So the old, well, I just have a slow metabolism because I'm getting older. Well, that's because you're doing less and because you're losing muscle mass. Boost it, you know?
Mhm.
At 58, I do strength training, and it's most important to do strength training. I don't mean bodybuilding, I mean just working that muscle with
Mhm.
resistance force after the age of 40 because sarcopenia sets in, you start losing muscle mass. That's for everybody, and especially women because we go through menopause. So if you start burning muscle, your muscle at first, like it burns some glycogen, but it's like, feed me, body, I need protein. So the body goes, okay, and starts burning fat and feeds you protein. So I don't know what the question was originally, but it's like, oh, the diet, the difference between diet and habits. If you change your habitual way of eating, how much and what you eat, when you get in the habit of it, your taste buds start craving that good, clean stuff. It gets in the habit of it. Your taste buds, I crave a good pear. I crave those delicious raindrop grapes. I want that banana. I'm not craving the Lay's potato chips. And believe me, I grew up with Ruffles and Pringles and dip and all that white bread. I grew up with it. And then I happened to move to Europe right after college for 5 years. And I didn't have that anymore. And I had the sauces and I had the wine and I lost 10 pounds immediately living in France. It was because they don't overeat and they eat clean. And
Mhm.
when I came back here, I was like, wow, it just really opened my eyes. I can't drink and eat like I did in college. So a diet is temporary. It's not sustainable. That's why people keep going on diets, as you see. That's why people keep doing the yearly cleanse. That's why temporary? Why not develop into eating cleaner, eating healthier? And that's another thing. Decide what healthy is, because some people don't know what healthy is. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. And that's what a good nutritionist or a good fitness coach or a good, whoever
Yeah.
you hire with you can walk you through. You don't have to buy all these pre-cut things and prep your meals. If you want to and you can, great, but you don't have to. We find what works for you, the busy woman. Even at 50,
Mhm.
60, 70, more women are working now or doing other things in the third stage or second stage in the second act. And so they're busy as well. Maybe you don't want to do all that. And you learn how to order at restaurants that you're not restricting yourself. You're not depriving yourself. You're enjoying yourself, but you get in the habit of how to order things. And you also crave better stuff when you go to
Mhm.
restaurants. And like I'm in the habit of, I know I've been doing this for years. I order mostly appetizers because I can't eat that big meal. But if I do order the big meal, I already know I'm going to take a lot of it home. I'm a
Yeah.
cheap date. I have leftovers forever.
I'm a cheap date. No, I love appetizers too. So
Diet
in
is
your
great. Lifestyle habits are just it. A habit is natural. It's second nature.
and what you said about healthy means different things to different people. What you consider healthy may not be what your clients coming in consider healthy. You and I probably have very similar because we're both coaches, right? But I hear all the time, but I eat healthy. And I'm not, let's take a look at this because
Yeah.
everybody has a different healthy. It's whatever you were taught, right? And I
Mm.
love what you talked about strength training because muscle knows no age. You can become stronger as you get older because the first two things that we lose is strength and mobility. And we want to keep you away from the walker, the wheelchair, the assisted living, the nursing homes. We want you to be independent and living on your own or with your spouse or,
You mentioned travel. I love traveling. I just think of
yeah,
this. I just went somewhere with my husband and I picked up somebody else's suitcase. This lady was having trouble. I'm like, "Oh, you want me to get that for you?" Well, are you sure? I'm 5'2" and I've got muscles, but I'm small.
yeah,
Pretty. She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I hauled it up there, and I said, I always love doing this. This is why I strength train. Or like if I run to something, oh, I forgot something, and I dash back to my car or something. It's like,
yes.
yes, that's why I work out. It's the functional things in life is why you work out. Not when
Hmm.
you're at the gym, this is why I work out and you're looking at yourself in the mirror. No, it's when you can do something and you're mobile and you're flexible and you don't
Hmm.
hurt when you get out of bed.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big thing for me. That's why I work out. And I remind myself.
Very good. I love that. Functional. So, the top problems women over 50 tell you they have in keeping off excess weight or not even gaining weight. Because some people have the reverse problem, right? They're trying to gain weight, some are trying to lose weight. So, what are the top problems you see with women over 50?
Okay, one, let's do the gaining weight. One is that they really, I'm not saying they have an eating problem, but they have a little block here, like they're afraid to gain weight. Now, if they physically are eating more and they're working out, because
Hmm.
when you work out, especially strength training, but also some cardio, um, your metabolism is telling you to eat. So if there's something wrong, go to an endocrinologist. Go to your doctor. Don't just take, oh, well, you're stressed, maybe eat a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. Don't take that as an answer. I love and respect doctors, but they are part of your team. You're paying them. Ask the questions. Be your own self-help advocate. Okay. It's worth it to get a workup and see if everything's good with your glands because it could be something. The second thing is let's look at premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, the whole word.
Yep.
Let's see where your hormones are. Um, you may not need hormone replacement. If you do, is it going to be natural? Is it going to be synthetic? I personally don't want hormone replacement. I'm like, do I need it, doctor? He's like, no, some women want it. They don't want to go through all these symptoms. Like, if I don't need it, I don't want it. I didn't want it. For some women, they really are glad about it. So you really have to do your due diligence. So the main thing about not gaining weight, I really do see, is they're afraid of gaining weight. Because as you get older, it's attractive. At least they can hold on to that. I've got a good, I don't want to say at least, but it's like, I'm changing. I want to hold on to my attractive body. I have found that as a coach, so I can just say that for a fact. It's usually not that they can't physically, but those are some answers. Now, the other question was they have problems losing weight.
Yes.
Again, it's usually not their hormones, but if they are getting on medications, I mean, unless you have a glandular problem, a thyroid problem, which is the minority of people, not the majority, and you have to get checked, unless it's that, and or your medications, don't blame it on your medication or metabolism unless you have proof. The reason they have problems losing weight, again, is the mindset. It really is. If I have to give it a percentage, it's 90%. They socialize, they go with their husband, or they go with their friends, and they start picking at stuff. Oh, I just can't help myself, or they're sedentary, or they don't weight train. And when I say weight train, I don't mean a lot. I mean enough. Work each muscle in your body twice a week. That's all it takes. So it's changing their lifestyle. So I see mostly as a coach now, but I saw it a lot as a trainer and in nutrition, that when they have problems losing weight, it's because they keep trying the diets or the cleanses, all the temporary things, all the quick fixes, instead of just changing their lifestyle habits.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for
I'm
all of your.
sorry. One more thing. We can't hang, meaning you can't drink alcohol like you did in your 20s and 30s. You just can't after 50. You can't. I'm going to put that as a blanket statement for the most part. Half a glass of wine now, I feel it at 2 a.m. I'm not hungover. I just can't sleep. And it's hormones. So watch it with the refined sugars and the sugar and the alcohol. You can't drink as much as you used to. I just had to throw that in there.
Oh, and that's fine. I'm glad that you did, because the sugar alcohols, your liver has to process that before it can process anything else. So women come to me and they're like, I said, how much are you drinking? Oh, a couple glasses of wine every night. Let's talk about that, because you want to know why you're not losing weight, but you're drinking at night, having the cheese and crackers, having the, whatever goes with it. And that is a detriment to what you're trying to do for your goals. So yes, I'm glad that you put that in there, because our bodies change and you cannot drink the way you used to when you were
Glasses of
younger.
wine in my 30s and 40s, no problem. Now it's like, no, I can't. I love it. I'll get half a glass or maybe a glass. I
Mhm.
know, shows our age. My husband and I had a glass of Chardonnay the other night. Both of us, one glass together.
Yeah.
But
Because
it was good. It tasted great with the food, and that's all we
yeah,
wanted. And if I want to look festive, cranberry and soda in a champagne glass, ladies, for the holidays. It looks great.
yeah. Because you are going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It is going to affect your sleep, everything else. You're not going to feel good the next day. So yeah, very good plug there. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today, Ronnie. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So you have a free assessment for the viewers, the habits and accountability assessment. Can you explain that to the viewers, please?
Yeah, people are surprised when they read my assessment. It's kind of a survey and assessment because, like I said, some people, they want accountability partners or they want accountability pods. Or there's the other part that's like, no, I don't need accountability. No, I don't want it. Oh, I got to answer to somebody. So it's funny when this really looks at what do you think accountability is? And different questions about that, different questions about habits surrounding different things. So then we go over the assessment together and kind of talk about it, a consultation. And yeah, that's the time that we spend together. And it's really, really eye-opening how many things, eye-opening to most people when they look at it and they tell me, it's like, wow, I hadn't thought about it that way. Wow, you're right. They start seeing that everything they do really is a habit. It really is. And they start thinking about it because of this. And then we go over it. And then they do have they do end up having some questions so I can answer it in the follow-up. After they take it, they tell me, okay, after they submit it, and then we get together and we go over it.
I think that's the best part is because sometimes you take an assessment, you get the answers, and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Or it's
But
a
you're
generic
gonna,
computerized algorithm score, you know?
right. Right. And this is so much better because you're going to explain it. You're going to go over it. And then you have a bonus that you submitted valued at $150 for all of the VIP all access pass purchasers. That means that you purchased the recordings of the whole Weight Loss for Women Over 50 Masterclass series. It is a one personal workout plan for a calendar month.
Okay, what that is, and I usually charge, well, my clients before, my personal training clients, if they ordered a big package like 15 sessions or 25 sessions, this would automatically go with that complimentary. But people pay me monthly, especially because they travel or they just want this, pay me monthly for a workout plan. The big thing I get is, well, what do I do? Like in between sessions, with their trainer or whatever, they don't know what to do and they end up doing too much of one muscle, not enough of the other. They don't know the plan, or they'll go online and follow their plans. Don't do that. Let's do a personal workout plan, what I call a PWP. We go over your strengths and weaknesses, what you will do, your schedule, the non-negotiables, like I got to do my golf every Thursday, or I've got to go to this pickleball every Saturday. So we work that into the plan. So then I do a customized plan Monday through Sunday or Sunday through Saturday.
Yep.
And every day they just look at their plan on their phone, on their computer. They can print it out. They know exactly what to do that day and how much. So they don't need to be with somebody, but it's really for them, their schedule, their time, what they will do, their equipment, if they're going to work out at home, or if they're going to go to the gym, or if they're going to go to the beach. There's also an active rest day, whatever it is that they do. And not only that, I check in with them. How's it going? Celebrative accountability. And if they
Yeah.
have any problems or they can't do something or the plan isn't working, it's like, okay, let's look at it. Let's tweak it. So they get me on Voxer, or they can get me on the phone real quick and we see if it's not working and why. But if it's because, oh, I just didn't make it because you just didn't, man, that's something else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something else. So wonderful. Any last piece of advice or actionable step you want to leave the viewers with today?
Yes, really consider that little steps add up to a lot. And it adds up to really changing your perspective about yourself when you're telling yourself
Mhm.
truthful confirmations and you're celebrating it every day. Celebrate your wins, celebrate with someone, dance and sing in front of the mirror and say it to yourself. But it's always great when you share it with someone. And your habits really are your identity, and that's a good thing. You know, you might think, well, I'm more than just my habits. Of course you are, but that is part of your identity. Of course you are. And I'm living proof. Like I said, I was like the last one picked at dodgeball or softball. I was not athletic. And when people look at me, they're like, wow, you're in great shape. I mean, you can only see like this. Um, I've never been in better shape. I mean, there are things that are creaking and cracking and stuff, of course, but you can be fit, you can be healthy at any level, any fitness level, and at any stage of your life, as fit as you can be with any medical issues or whatever. At any age, you
Mhm.
can do it. It's possible, and it's usually most possible when you get help.
Yes. Find a coach that can help you with it. Don't try to do it on your own. We all need somebody to learn from.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It is, yeah, because you've already got it together. So for those of you tuning in, check out Ronnie's guide, the habits and accountability. It's an assessment. Habits and accountability assessment. The link is below the video for you. Just easy click along with her website, her social medias. And then if you purchase the VIP, you can get the bonus valued at $150, the one personal workout plan for a calendar month by Ronnie. So that is a fabulous bonus. And you get all the other speaker bonuses as well. So be sure to tune back in for the rest of our Weight Loss for Women Over 50 Masterclass series. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Ronnie Loiza.
I
So nice
love
to
what
have you.
you're doing with the summit. I really do. I love all your speakers. I think it's great. I'm going to be tuning in.
Yeah, you are. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye bye now.